Monday. Some people are actually like kind of down when it's Monday. Like they hate Monday. I don't want to wake up on Monday. For me, I actually like Monday. And the reason why is because it's the start to a new week and we get to reinvent ourselves. We get to redo things and we get to start all the way over. Let's get into it. Dinner and news with DotSale. Dinner and news. Yeah. Yo, we are in week 8. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm having so much fun doing this. The last couple of weeks were like the whole Halloween theme. If you weren't here for the last couple of weeks, like, I don't know, you missed out on something epic. I would just say go back and just check out the last couple of weeks. We did it all Halloween themed. But now we're done with that. We are starting anew. It is November. It is November, and you know, we gotta get back to some of the consistency that we had before, as far as like, cause I was a little upset. I was a little upset last month because we had to miss a day. And you know, it was my kid's birthday, but I still don't really use that as a reason why or an excuse why we should miss. I definitely could have got the show done, but you know, I want to give him a lot of time. What's on my hat? Figure that out. But I want to give him a lot of time for his birthday and all that. So, you know, we made that happen, and you know, I think it worked out. But now, you know, we're going into November, so it's a lot different, and we're gonna treat this month as a month where we can't miss any days. All right. Let me go ahead and get y'all fed real quick. Let's do it like this. Let's go here. So remember, we were doing all Halloween themed foods for the last like 2 weeks or whatever, and then I gave y'all some really fun treats and desserts over like the last 2 days, like Thursday and Friday of last week. But usually what we do is we do something healthy beginning into the week, and then, you know, we'll have some different types of foods going into like, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we got to get back to that. We had a lot of candy over the weekend and stuff like that. You know, even if you didn't go trick-or-treating, if you're around kids, which I think it's a good thing to be around kids in one way or another. So kids were giving you candy, right? Unless you got some really selfish brats around you that are just like, they're all mine. I'm not sharing. You know, my kids, they shared a lot of their candy and stuff. And I also went trick-or-treating myself. So there's that. But now we got to get back to it. We got to get healthy. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's check out this creamy fruit salad, all right, with a secret ingredient. We'll go ahead and get through this, and then we'll continue with the show. Got some music in the background, no talking. So I guess I'll just kind of narrate it a little bit. We got multiple different fruits. And look at the color in there. All we're missing is something blue. I'll just put some, we can't put no food coloring in there. Chopped nuts. Rose water. We're getting red though. All right, we're gonna mix all this up, mix all our fruits up. Okay. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, 1 cup of condensed milk, 1/2 cup, 1/4 of a cup. You're gonna mix it all together. Now we can go plant-based with this, we can go vegan with this. You can definitely go like oat milk. You can definitely go plant-based whipping cream. That's how I would have mine personally, but you know, you can do whatever you want to. We always got both options for you. Then you're gonna go ahead and pour that into the bowl, and you're gonna stir it well to coat. All right. You want to get all the fruit kind of coated within the topping, and then that's it. Oh no, we're gonna add some berries on there too. Serve it chilled. Serve it chilled. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull that. Let's leave that right there. Let's leave that right there. What's up with the rose water? Or is it rosé water? The label's like something from Dubai or something. UAE. So I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, we're eating really healthy. Got to flush all that. You know, we gotta cleanse our system. We got to get all that candy out of our system because we had a crazy weekend. We had a crazy weekend with it being Halloween weekend. It was very, very crazy. Actually, I went out for Halloween. You know, we went out for Halloween. I think it was cool. And we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Usually I don't go out for Halloween, but we chose to, and I think it was really, really good for us to do. Hold on one second. I'm just looking at something real quick. All right, let me get that real quick. Let's put this here. All right, we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the show. I want to go to, before we get into the No Snap November part of it, and I think the government actually even said that they are, did the government said they're going to give out partial food stamps or something like that? I think Trump said he's going to give out like half of what people would get from an emergency fund. So it's looking like people might get a little bit of reprieve, but that doesn't really matter at this point because half of the crimes have already been done. And there's actually different things that are being set up to go ahead and purge stores as soon as, I think, tomorrow. So we're going to check those videos out. But first, I want to look at, because you know the Dodgers, they won the World Series. Let me go off black and white mode. The Dodgers, they won the World Series in a very, very good World Series. Actually, the whole postseason of baseball was really good. I really enjoyed the Mariners. You know, I'm from Seattle, Washington, so I really enjoyed the Mariners versus the Blue Jays. And, you know, I didn't really have an issue with the Blue Jays winning, but, you know, we definitely want to see the LA Dodgers win. I want to see the LA Dodgers win over the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays fans aren't taking it very well. So we're going to actually see a Blue Jays fan that preemptively got a 2X World Series championship jacket. Let's go ahead and check this out. This guy right here decided to get a 2X World Championship jacket for the Blue Jays in anticipation of them beating the Dodgers. However, the Blue Jays failed. The Blue Jays had an opportunity. They were 2 outs away in the 9th inning to beat the glorious LA Dodgers, and they failed. They gave up a home run to Jose Rojas, I think it was his name, to tie it up going into the bottom of the 9th, and then failed to score, and then subsequently lost in the 11th inning. And because of that, they have been very upset over in Canada, and they are on crazy watch right now. So this guy wearing his jacket like a fool, that because they've only won 1 World Series at this point, got angry with this guy. I'm not exactly sure why, but he wanted to take out his anger at a McDonald's, it looks like. And let's go ahead and watch the video. This is crazy.
Huh? They don't matter. Yeah, you're right. It's true. That's true. You will. True. You will. True. You will.
You might get self-control, bro.
Sorry?
You might get self-control.
What? What did you say to me? What did you say to me?
He said the Blue Jays suck.
What?
That's funny. I'm a Blue Jays fan too.
Yeah, that's great. What are you gonna say to me?
Now he's saying he's a Blue Jays fan.
What are you gonna say to me?
Look at this fool.
What are you gonna say to me? I don't give a shit saying?
Maybe someone
Should've
should
known
have
it.
I.
You said you said what to me?
I'm sorry, sir.
You said
Sir,
what to
sir,
me?
sir.
You said what
Boss,
to me?
boss.
You said what to me?
Sir, sir,
You said what to
sir,
me?
sir. I'm sorry, sir.
What are you smelling?
Sir?
If I had some Dodgers gear, I would wear it right
Please take
now.
it outside. Sir, please take it
Why
outside.
you just walked in here acting like you're better than me.
Sir,
Not at all.
take it outside, sir, sir. Sir,
Let me go.
Sir,
Let me go.
let him go.
Let me go.
Let him go, let him go, let him go. Sir, stop.
Blue Jays fans can't take a loss. He had to get escorted out of McDonald's
Please, please.
wearing that stupid jacket.
You act better than people.
They've won one World Series, sir.
You just did it.
Please.
He's escorted out. He's ready to rage out. He's got egg all over his face. He can't take it over a game.
You act better.
Sir, please take it outside.
You just went too.
So let's go ahead and give this dummy and whoever recorded this video, I mean, shout out to them. They got great footage. Like, this is like 4K. Like, this is, so usually it seemed like people were recording on a damn, on a Motorola flip phone. But whoever recorded this, you know, they got that high definition. I don't even think this is an iPhone or a flagship Samsung. He damn near got like a whole DSLR. Like, you know, so shout out to him. But yeah, Blue Jays fans are not taking it well. They absolutely should have won the game. They let a pitcher come in and annihilate him. He just pitched 96 pitches the night before, came back in and destroyed them in the extra innings. The Dodgers won. They had their parade today, and if I had a Dodgers hat, I would wear it right now just to taunt Blue Jays fans, although I wouldn't want to get hemmed up. Although I'd never be at a McDonald's to begin with, so I would probably never run into this guy because I would never eat a McDonald's. But, you know, I definitely wouldn't want to run into a fan like this that would assault me because his team lost. Like, take your loss, buddy, and move on. The whole United States of Canada, y'all need to take your loss like men and accept defeat. You got your ass kicked and you lost. That's it. That's it. You lost, all right? Don't. So, there you got it. Blue Jays fans are upset and can't take a loss, and they're wearing stupid jackets that say that they won 2 World Series when they only won 1 like a million years ago. Yep. All right. I want to look at one more video before we get into the whole EBT situation, because we'll talk about that for a while. That'll be the main topic. That's what's on the thumbnail. That's what's in the title. That's what everybody's showing up to watch. However, I just want to look at one thing a little bit strange, because this situation with this guy in Tennessee, now these are his claims, so we're just taking what he says and we're gonna believe it, because I'm a very big proponent of believing people, especially when they're saying things like this, right? Like, I wouldn't believe somebody if they came up to me and said, hey, if you give me $500, then I can turn that 500 into 500,000. All you have to do is just give me 500 and I'll flip your money 100 times and I'll bring you back 500,000. Like, I wouldn't believe that. But when people say stuff like this, I tend to believe them unless there's provable evidence that they are not telling the truth. So I want to watch this video and then let's talk about it afterwards, all right? Let's go ahead and see this guy. He says that these people will not rent to him because he's white. Something that you don't hear very often. Usually it's the minorities that are discriminated against, but this white guy, and he looks just like a white guy, says that he was discriminated against. I'll pull it down real quick so you can see the whole caption right here. But yeah, that's what he's saying. So let's go ahead and hear what he's got to say over this minute and 24-second video on TikTok.
sorry, we don't rent to white people. Yeah, you just heard that. So I'm here in Sevier County, okay? So I've been looking for another place for me and my family because I want to upgrade and move out. And there has been a couple of things online that I have been calling. Two of them had great prices. They were in a mobile home. They had mobile homes for rent. So I called them, was like, hey, I got a family of 4. I've got all my information I need. I've got my money, blah, blah, blah. I'm interested in renting it. First question she asked me, she's like, oh, okay, are you white? Yeah. I'm sorry, but right now we don't have any spots available for you only because of your protection. What the actual hell? They don't want to rent to me as a white man because they're afraid that I will cause an issue for me and their residents that are not white or black, by the way. I wish I was joking on this, and I'm going to bring some more information to this because I just alerted authorities to what's going on, and I've got some people looking into this, but this is absolutely happening here in Sevier County. They are not renting to white people.
Sevier County? Where is that at?
Renting to immigrants now.
Immigrants. Is that only immigrants, or is it just non-whites that they're only renting to? Okay, so I thought this was interesting. I thought it was interesting. Let me see. Yeah. Reverse discrimination. You could call it that. You can call it that. It's something that minorities have dealt with for a long time. So I actually it's kind of still kind of ongoing and current, so I'll talk about it a little bit later, but I've been in situations where there have been certain apartment buildings where the discrimination is against, people of color and stuff like that. Like the apartment building could be labeled as a little more prestigious or a little more high class, however you want to call it, luxury apartments. And when they see a black person in it, they feel like that black person doesn't belong, or somebody that doesn't really fit with what they got going on. And, you'll get the discrimination usually by the actual tenants that are in there. But he's saying this happened from the management just to, and again, this could be preventative because, like, think about it. If you want to go where you're appreciated and celebrated, not where you're tolerated. So they might actually be looking out for this guy. Because let's say like this guy actually, moved in there or whatever, right? And he's in there with a whole bunch of minorities that dislike him. His situation there could be actually a living hell, right? And not saying that it's right because, blacks have dealt with this where they've had to actually come in and put laws in. And other minorities and stuff have dealt with this, where it's like you can't discriminate on somebody based off of their race or ethnicity and not rent to them. If they're qualified, you have to give them an equal opportunity to rent or buy the place that they're asking for. And this has been going on forever. And now it looks like it's kind of, like you said, a reverse discrimination situation. But besides all of that, I would just say to this guy right here, like, you technically don't want to live there. Like, I wouldn't want to be somewhere where I'm not wanted at all, especially if I'm renting it. If I own it, like if you're owning it, it's a whole different situation. But even then, like, you just don't want to put yourself in a bad situation to begin with. So him trying to fight to be somewhere where nobody wants him to be at, I think is a mistake on his part. And honestly, like, for me, I would just be fine with it. If they told me that, I'd be like, all right, that's fine. I don't want to live here. I wouldn't make a big fuss out of it. Would I go on the internet and explain it? As a YouTuber, I probably would explain the situation. As a citizen and just a normal person, I probably wouldn't, depending on the situation. Because if I go into a place that is majority people that, like, it could even be like this, right? I don't even have to use like race to make it make sense. It could be all old people. Let's say like the average age of the people that live in apartment or the condos, they're all like 60 plus retired people, right? And, you know, I'm younger. I'm going to be a little more vibrant. I'm going to be doing different things. I'm going to be moving a lot different than most people in the community. I wouldn't even want to be there, right? So, you know, I think that in his situation, I get where he's coming from and he wants to be the victim. But again, like, he's old enough. You could tell that this guy is probably somewhere in like his mid 60s, 70s, possibly. And, you know, for him, I just think that it's a little bit better that he just doesn't fight this in the way that he is. Because let's say, you know what, he put up a big fight over this and they were like, you know what, all right, you can move in. And then he was miserable there. And then he would come on here and complain about something else. So I think he's just looking for a reason to complain. But, you know, then again, you know, things kind of do reverse and change. So I don't know. I just want to look at this a little bit. There was a lot of different topics I want to talk about today, but I want to actually stick on this whole EBT situation because it's kind of crazy right now. So let's go ahead and go into that, but just want to talk about that a little bit more. I think actually tomorrow, I think we might do car repossessions and we might do rent situation, because there was actually this, actually, let's go to that real quick. I'll talk about that before we go into, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so the mayor of Atlanta, Andre Dickens is his name. Let's go ahead and pull him up real quick. Let's pull up Andre. Let's go here. So the mayor of Atlanta, you can read the caption right here. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens announced it, an immediate pause on evictions and water shutoffs through January 31st, 2026. As SNAP funding lapses. All right. So the mayor said this, and we did want to get a little more clarification because when you see the headline, it's a little bit misleading. And, you know, you see that a lot with these misleading headlines. But for the most part, it's pretty much accurate. He just can't do anything to private parties. That's the simplest way to put it. But to expound on it and to have more details, the mayor's administrative order directs the Department of the Watershed Management to halt all residential water service terminations for unpaid bills through January 31st, 2026. That's roughly about 3 months, or until the federal shutdown ends. It also instructs city housing partners, including the Atlanta Housing Authority, Invest Atlanta, the Fulton County City of Atlanta, Land Bank Authority, and Partners for Home to suspend eviction filings and late fees in city-owned or city-funded housing for the same period. All right, so, you know, I was looking at that and I was just wondering, I'm like, all right, so you're saying you're going to suspend housing. The problem with a lot of these initiatives is that just suspending housing by itself, or, you know, suspending like the payments by themselves, still brings the problem is that all you're doing is accumulating a bigger bill. So when he lifts this, is he saying that you just continue your payments at the 31st and you don't owe anything for the last three months? Because here's the problem. If people can't pay for the next 3 months, assuming that this goes all the way through the 31st, and people say, you know what, I'm not going to pay, do you think they're going to have that money to pay the upcoming month plus the last 3 months? You know, I find that really hard to believe that they'll be able to do that. And, you know, so more than likely, you know, this is going to be a disaster. But then again, this is not for private owned places, all right? And that is something that we definitely have to look at, because the other part of this is that what people don't realize is that when people buy homes and they rent them out, the majority of these people, the majority of them, they have a mortgage on it. They bought it on a mortgage. They did not buy it outright. So their $400,000 home, they have to pay on it every month, and they depend on the people that are living in these properties to pay their mortgage off. If not over what their mortgage costs. I mean, let's say, the mortgage is $3,000. They're renting the place out for $3,500. They pocket extra $500, pay the mortgage off with $3,000, and then they're good. So when you actually suspend payments, and luckily this isn't for private homeowners, it would actually collapse the whole housing market, because if they go without paying their mortgage for more than 60 days, they can begin to become into foreclosure, and then they can have their home taken by the bank. So, this is probably never the right answer. But again, this mayor right here with the caption that is very misleading is only doing this to government-owned facilities. So basically the mayor's saying that he's going to use the taxpayer money or the funding that they already have to give the influx of cash that's needed to the people that can't afford it, that leeway. But my other thing is this. When you look at EBT and SNAP benefits, they only average about $200 a month per person. So it's like, that's not going to be like, if anything, you just say, look, you at least got to pay something on the rent, bro, at least like half, right? Because let's say they took $200-300 away from you in food stamps. I mean, nobody's rent is $200 or $300 anymore. This is not the 1930s. So, the mayor's kind of wilding out, but we're seeing a lot of desperate measures at this point as far as what's going on. So let's get into some of those desperate measures and let's jump right into it. We'll look at this situation. This was on the 30th of October, just about 4 days ago, where people were getting ahead of the November shutdown and getting their groceries early before all the chaos ensued. Let's check this video out. Very interesting. And let's see what's happening with people. I got a whole bunch of these videos queued up, so we're about to have a lot of exciting videos to check out. It's going to be really fun, y'all. It's going to be really fun. Let's look at the first one. Did I update the graphics? Oh, yeah. Hunger Crimes Begin. Yeah, I like it. Hunger Crimes Begin. That's a good one.
Ain't no way. Hey, look at this.
She tried to walk out with a cart full.
Ain't no way.
Looked like loss prevention got her.
Bro, he just snatched that cart. And I really got that on video.
They didn't fight with him though.
Bro.
She just kept walking.
2 carts full of stuff.
Did they get one cart out already?
Hey, yo.
I think they got a cart out.
I just got all that on video.
He only intercepted one cart.
That's funny. He grabbed that girl up.
All right, let's see. Oh,
they got away though. They got away. What? Who? How is that my responsibility?
All right, so that's one video right there, and I want to go through. Actually, let's do a little bit of lead up going into a lot more of these videos. I got a lot of them queued. I'm looking at I can't even count on hands and toes how many videos we got queued up. Let's look at a couple of the politicians. We got Jasmine Crockett. She wants to talk a little bit about what's going on, failed leadership, different things like that. So let's see what she's got to say. And then we're going to get back to the ground floor and look at how the people are responding to this. There's actually a movement where people are talking about purging all the Walmarts and different types of grocery stores coming up. We want to check that out because there is a huge crowd of people that are getting ready to go crazy. See what Jasmine got to say, though. Let's check this out.
I will agree that there are too many American people that are on SNAP benefits. But that means that you got to not look necessarily at SNAP. You got to look at the reasons that they're on SNAP. We know that over 1/4 of these people that are in receipt of SNAP benefits are actually the working poor in this country, right? We have not increased the minimum wage, and I don't know when, and the minimum wage still sits at $7 while everything else is going up, whether we're talking about the cost of food or whether we're talking about the cost of rent or whether we're talking about the cost of actually try to engage in home ownership if we're talking about the interest rates. And we know that under the failed leadership of this administration, this country has seen a loss of 1 million jobs. And that's just in the first few months. He's not even had a full year. So no, we need to work on economic policies that will put people into a position in which they are not the working poor, where they are still needing the $6 a day to eat. So yes, we need to talk about it, but I don't think that SNAP is the problem. I think that that is the resolution, or at least that is a symptom of the problem. We have a bigger problem in which we have billionaires that are continuing to rise up every single day and are getting richer and richer, to the extent that there was talk about Elon becoming a trillionaire, the first one in this country or in the world. Yet we still have people that have to go to the food bank and go to work, that have to sit there and go to make sure that they've got money on their SNAP and EBT cards. Like, that's a problem, and I do think that we need to address it.
All right, we wanted to let her speak, get everything out without interrupting her. I think that is terrible to interrupt people. So now I want to go back and I want to address a couple points that she had to say about this, because I find what she said interesting in many ways. But actually, well, no,
I will agree
let's do
that
it
there
like
are too
this. We'll stop on a couple points.
American people that are on SNAP benefits. But that means that you got to not look necessarily at SNAP. You got to look at the reasons that they're on SNAP. We know that over 1/4 of these people that are in receipt of SNAP benefits are actually the working poor in this country, right? We have not increased the minimum wage, and I don't know when, and the minimum wage still sits at $7 while everything else is going up, whether we're talking about the cost of food or whether we're talking about the cost of rent or whether we're talking about the cost to actually try to engage in home ownership.
Okay, so the whole minimum wage thing is a bit tough, because if you increase the amount of minimum wage, all it's going to do is increase the amount of everything else.
If we're talking about the interest.
I didn't mean to play it. All that's going to do is increase the amount that everything else costs. And that's from the places that you shop at. So increasing minimum wage is never really going to be the answer. And the reason why is because if McDonald's has to pay their workers more, they're just going to raise the price of their food more. So you could pay McDonald's workers $100 an hour if you want to. All that's going to do is say that your Big Mac is going to cost $67 for one Big Mac. And if you want to add extra sauce, it's going to be an extra $8. So it's never going to work out just to increase minimum wage, because when these businesses have a bottom line that they need to hit, although the profit margins might be more than they need to take in, they're always going to try to hit those necessary margins. So if you tell Walmart to pay everybody $35 an hour, they're just going to increase the price of everything by the percentage of the hourly wage that they have to increase their employees that they're going to pay. And then the other part about it is they're just going to begin to start investing in robots, because it'll make more sense for them to do that. If they're paying everybody $15 now, but you say they got to pay them $30 moving forward, they're better off just taking all that extra money they would pay their workers to invest in someone to replace them that is artificial intelligence or a robot. The other part about it is the housing. What the government assistance does to people that want to afford houses is take that privilege away from them. Because when you start to make enough money to the point where you don't qualify for EBT, SNAP, or cash assistance or Medicaid or anything like that, all these different assistance, energy assistance, whatever the case is, that at that point, if you're getting those things, you can't even buy a home, because you're either going to have enough money to buy a home and not get any assistance from the government. But if you get assistance from the government, they will never allow you to make enough money to buy a home in the first place. The only way you can get a home is going to be on Section 8, and you'll never own it. And that's why the majority of people that are on these programs end up flat broke as they continue to get older and they have nothing in savings, because the instant that they see you with $100,000 in savings, but you're receiving SNAP, then all they're going to do is cut off your benefits. So you can't really do both. You can't be dependent on the government and also own things. They don't go together, ever. They never will. So it's pick one, and that's it. You can be broke and you can get government benefits, or you can be middle class and probably be poor, or you just have to get to the top. That's why they say there's no middle class anymore. it's dissolving because you either have to be at the bottom and then the government will help you, or you have to be at the top and you don't need the government at all. But there's nothing in the middle anymore. And it's absolutely true.
Interest rates. And we know that under the failed leadership of this administration, this country has seen a loss of 1 million jobs. And that's just in the first few months. He's not even had a full year. So, no, we need to work on economic policies that will put people into a position.
I think what she's talking about with the jobs being lost. So when they put the tariffs in, it did put a lot of strain on a lot of these bigger corporations that rely on getting their products from overseas. And because of that, we've seen a lot of layoffs at big companies. Also, AI is a big part of it, which has nothing to do with the tariffs and all that stuff. But then also just from a standpoint of, robots coming in and everything, starting to replace workers, and the demands that these workers are making, and the entitlement that they have, and them not wanting to go back into the office and do the work that they wanted to do or that they should do since the pandemic got everybody really comfortable with not going into the office. A lot of these jobs said you need to come in and work, and they're realizing that they're much more efficient not having these people at all at this point because they're realizing how much they didn't actually benefit the company. But yeah, a lot of these companies are laying off at a high rate. So what happens when the higher jobs get taken away, then these people that are overqualified, they begin to try to get the lower jobs that the people that are qualified or underqualified to do those jobs. Now you got people with PhDs and more degrees than a thermometer all across their wall trying to apply at low-level jobs, and they're taking the jobs away from the people at the bottom, so they're suffering even more. And it's always going to be either a trickle-down effect or it's going to become, possibly maybe like it kind of just evens out, right? So let's go ahead and listen to like one more of her points.
In which they are not the working poor, where they are still needing the $6 a day to eat. So, yes, we need to talk about it, but I don't think that SNAP is the problem.
You know what? We'll leave it there. But I'm just wondering ladies, can somebody tell me what's going on with the eyelash situation? It almost seems like she can't see. Her eyelashes are so thick and bushy. It's just unnatural. Like, I don't understand why. Is it protect? I'm going to say this. I don't think her eyelashes make her look any better. That's just me. It's an opinion thing. Remember, they say beauty is subjective. One person could think somebody's beautiful. Other person could think that person is not beautiful. I think the thick eyelashes on women doesn't look good at all. But from a standpoint of just like vision, it doesn't look like it's even effective, right? I don't get that. We're going to leave it there. No, I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Let's go ahead and check out some more stuff because we got a lot to get to regarding this topic. Do I want to go to this? We could. Yeah, we could do this real quick. Okay, so let's check out this video. This is just over Halloween. This was on somebody's Nest camera. They set out candy for the kids, and nobody wants to open the door, say it's put out the bucket of candy. They say take like 1 or 2 pieces. We were out trick-or-treating, and we seen this at least like 4 or 5 houses. And what we chose to do was take the amount of candy that they said to take. They said take 1 to 2 bags, and that's exactly what we did. And we left plenty of candy there for anybody else that came across their property and wanted to get candy on Halloween. However, we're going to look at this video and see that this person decided not to do that. And in a time where she wasn't sure she could possibly be getting food stamps, she said this is probably a good way for me to continue to eat, because a lot of the food stamps that we buy, and I want to talk about this too a little bit later, what's usually bought with food stamps is a very telling thing where, we do have to have some reform. Why bro look like, where all the candy go? Bro looked over there like, I noticed this woman didn't just snatch all. She left with a big bag of candy. It looked like they caught the video late. Because, you know, sometimes with the videos, they won't catch it right away. Like, it'll start recording after like 10 seconds in. So she was already stealing candy. And then subsequently began to steal even more. And would have took every single piece. However, she seen somebody walking up and wanted to get up out of there real quick before it was too late. But this is, I want to talk about this video because we're beginning to, there's a lot of talk about being a socialist society. And that's basically meaning that everybody gets everything equally. But the problem with socialism is that people are just greedy by nature. People are selfish by nature. So, and people will make terrible mistakes. This is what I'll say. If you gave everybody in the country the same amount of money, let's say we made a big reset, all right? Let's say we made a big reset. We said, we're stripping everybody of everything. If you got no money or you're in debt, doesn't matter. If you're Elon Musk, that Jasmine Crockett just got done saying he's about to have $1 trillion. Let's say we stripped Elon of all his money. We said everybody in America gets $100,000. Everybody, every single adult gets $100,000. And that's it. We're starting over today, right now. What's today? November 3rd. November 3rd, we're starting over. Everybody gets $100,000. You have no debt. It is what it is. Within 1 year, everything will go right back to where it was. It'll all go right back to where it was. All the people that are poor will end up being poor again. All the people that are millionaires will end up being millionaires again. All the people that are in the middle treading water, they'll be right back where they were. The reason why is because it's never about an abundance of what you have. It's about the way that your lifestyle is and how you are. There'll be a couple people that'll make this work for them, right? Couple people that'll be like, all right, finally I got an equal start. I got an equal opportunity. But for the most part, everybody's going to fall right back to where they were because you still got the people that are drug addicts. You still got the people that can't control their urges. You still got the people that are ambitious, that are going to work harder. You still got the idiots that are going to get swindled by the smarter people that don't understand reading, that don't understand contracts, and they're going to be signing their money away. They're going to take loans. They're going to do a whole bunch of dumb stuff. So it doesn't matter when you look at it. That's why socialism is something that won't work. And this video proves it. Because, I mean, look, this is exactly what a socialism society would look like. Everybody, we're going to put everything out here for everybody to enjoy and take an equal amount. But then you're going to have people like this. That candy should be enough for at least 100 kids. There's probably about 150 pieces of candy there. Let's say everybody takes 1 to 2 pieces. That's 100 kids that should have candy. And nobody gets a lot, but nobody gets not as much as anybody else. But this woman took all the candy for herself. And all she's going to do is eat herself into a candy coma and get sick and add more weight to her already overweight body. She's grossly overweight and obese and decides to take the thing that is worse for her and begin to subsequently eat it throughout the rest of the week and night and give herself nightmares and make herself sick. So it's like you can't really have a society where people's mindsets are all different, but then try to make it a socialist society. It's not going to work. The people will cannibalize each other, and most people will make dumb decisions when they're in equal positions as people that are smarter than them, because you have to have an equal level of IQ, a equal level of people making rash decisions and the right decisions. And as you can see, this guy right here could possibly be a person that it could work with, because he's looking like, bruh, I came here, and he'll probably take 1 or 2 pieces and leave. But, you know, when you got one person that does this, they mess it up for everybody. And I don't ever think that that's going to change, because people are greedy and selfish in nature. And that's just the way it is. All right, let's go ahead and look at a couple more things. Okay, we got NBC talking about food banks, and we got a lady that begins to talk at the end of this video. Let's go ahead and check this out. We're going to get into some of the crazier videos very, very shortly here, all right? How long we at? We have 45 minutes? All right, we're doing good on time. Let's check out this video real quick as we lead into some of the crazier topics.
We're here outside a food bank in Los Angeles. You can see the long line of people here right now that are lining up to get food assistance. This is what we've seen across LA and across the country as the government shutdown has put SNAP benefits in jeopardy.
This is a few days ago.
42 million Americans. On Friday, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to distribute payments as soon as possible. President Trump said that he's going to ask the court how the government can legally fund that program during the shutdown. He says that if it's legally possible, he will give the funding, but even so, payments will be delayed. Multiple people have told us over the past few days that this is their first time coming to a food bank. We went to one food bank here in LA that told us they are seeing record numbers of people showing up.
We're shattering records that you don't wanna shatter. We had 803 families all alone last week, and we're gonna pass that.
I also met the Leal family, and they have 5 children under the age of 13, including 2 10-month-old twins. They get $750 a month in SNAP or CalFresh benefits. And without that, they are very scared about how they are going to make ends meet.
Have you ever been to the food bank before?
No, we never have.
The husband says that he works as a contractor, but work has been slow. He attributes that to inflation. And the mom, Jocelyn, says that she hasn't been able to go back to work because of the high cost of childcare. What she would make wouldn't cover the cost of having care for her children.
What is your message right now to the federal government?
I mean, what can we say? It's unfair what they're doing. Very unfair.
Jocelyn, why are you having so many kids if you can't afford them? Did they have 2 kids in a baby stroller? Look how young that kid is. Oh my God. This is abuse, bro. This is absolute. Do you see how fat that kid is? Why? Why is your kid so overweight? Let me get. My bad. I ain't even got it on the video. My fault, y'all. Hold on. Y'all heard the audio, though. You didn't miss anything. Let me show you the kid, though. Look at how overweight this kid is, man. And he got an iPhone in his hand. His hands look like catcher's mitts. You can't even see his knuckles. Okay. His dad is obviously overweight. Fine. I'll give his dad that. Dad, you know how much you're struggling with your weight. Why on earth would you allow your kid to become this fat? And they're doing it to the babies too. Now, the other thing about it is when you look at what they're getting, their SNAP benefits isn't going to be enough to cover what they need because they would need stuff for the babies that are going to be specific, like Similac, which is very expensive, or Enfamil, or whatever the case is. And, you know, you need the different baby foods, the Gerbers and all that, and canned foods and whatever else the case is that they need. Well, I used to do the baby's bottles and stuff like that. We'll put rice in the milk to make it thicker and everything like that. So they would need all these different things to actually make it work, but they're absolutely abusing these kids. And this is what I wanted to go into with what people are buying with their food stamps. So when you look at people that don't use food stamps, and, you know, I guess anecdotally, I could say I'm one of them. I don't use food stamps at all, but it doesn't really matter if I just use myself in this as an example. I would just say this is usually going to be the case for not all people, but I would think overall, because you usually look at the value that your dollar is going to get you when you're buying things without help. So the people that use food stamps, they often buy like a lot of the more unhealthy products, and this is a product of it, right? The only way you can get this overweight, especially the kid. I mean, the kid's face looks like it's swollen. It looks like the kid has an allergic reaction in his face. And, so it's like, what are y'all buying with your food stamps, right? I would just say that you need to
eat your vegetables.
because when you allow your kid to become overweight, you're abusing the kid. You're absolutely abusing the kid. And, the other part about it is you have two more and you can't afford to take care of the first one. So it's gluttony. And then also these people that are continuing to have all of these people that they can't take care of, then they go on here and cry, but it's like they'll have more kids. They're probably working on another kid right now because a lot of times the kids are a crutch. So what they can do is they can, if these two were just them two by themselves, they wouldn't be getting probably food stamps at all, right? But when you have kids, the level of urgency, it begins to peak, right? Like people don't want to see kids starve and suffer. So by proxy, we have to take care of the parents so they can take care of the kids. So these people actually get a free ride through their kids. And it actually becomes that the kids take care of the parents from a financial aspect. And people don't look at it like that. These kids are taking care of the parents. Now, she's saying she can't work because of childcare, and that's probably true, but you shouldn't have the children to begin with if you didn't have a plan on how you were going to take care of them. Childcare is very expensive. It can cost somewhere around $2,000 a month per child. When you break it down by day, it's not as expensive when you think about it that way, but $2,000 a month per child for them would be like $8,000. So it's like, that's kind of crazy, but we're seeing a lot of people that are just being irresponsible, because I don't have a problem with the EBT food system in general, but I do have a problem with the people that are receiving it that are just being completely irresponsible with it, that are probably between like the ages of 25 to 45. And, I take out the elderly and I take out the children in all of this. So that's not even who I'm talking to. I'm really talking to people that are between the ages of, I would just even go 21, but I think 18 would be appropriate as well. The ages of 18 to, I would say 65 are the people that I'm talking about when I say this. All right. So you see him right here?
No, we never have.
The husband says that he works as a contractor, but work has been slow. He attributes that to inflation. And the mom, Jocelyn, says that she hasn't been able to go back to work because of the high cost of childcare. What she would make wouldn't cover the cost of having care for her children.
What is your message right now to the federal government?
I mean, what can we say? It's unfair what they're doing. Very unfair.
And the reason why I wouldn't want to fund these people is because I don't want to contribute to them destroying their children. Like, I don't, bro. Like, honestly, I don't want to contribute to them destroying their children. I would continue to fund as far as a taxpayer and have no real issues with it if they were making sure that they were taking care of the kids and feeding them correctly. Because the only way you can get this big as a kid is if you're just eating garbage and slop. And here's the other thing. If your kid, she's not working, right? So the kids aren't going to daycare. Cool, fine, whatever. Why don't you have these kids, I'm going to assume, in any after school sports activities to make sure that they are staying within good health, or taking them to the park or doing anything like that? And you might say, maybe she is. I would say more than likely she's not. More than likely, she's just letting the kid just sit there and begin to eat and eat itself almost to the point where he's growing up with no chance. I don't like when I see kids just being abused like this, man. Like, everything, like, we need this young lad right here to be able to take the world over and run it in an efficient way. And he's not going to be able to do that if he can't even take care of his own body. So it's like you're putting future generations at a severe disadvantage, and it's just completely unacceptable. But that's just my take on it. Could be right, could be wrong. Yeah, everybody does what they want to do, so I don't really care from that standpoint. I just look at some of the people that are shopping at Walmart over the last day or two, and they're talking about Walmart's looking a lot different than it usually does between the 1st and the 5th. So let's go ahead and see how Walmart's looking now that nobody is receiving SNAP benefits.
Holy cow, it's the 1st on damn Walmart.
I said the stores.
Place damn near empty. Everybody cart normal size. They're not paying no cash, because we're paying cash. Everybody cart normal, no $1,000 buggy. And this is, what time is it now? What, 12? What time is it? 3:34 on the 1st. And Walmart now start the shelves nicely packed. Oh my gosh. Right now, short Walmart stocks, short Kroger. Their sales are going to be down, guys. Let's get it.
Well, he's not lying about shorting their stocks. And, you know, if you know anything about the stock market and shorting the stock, then you understand what he's talking about. If you don't, I'm not going to explain it now because it's not relevant to what we're talking about overall. But yeah, Walmart is going to see, as long as this as long as this EBT shortage continues, places like Walmart will begin to see their profits dip and have a lot of food that is going to be thrown out. Although a lot of food that's bought on EBT, again, is stuff that can sit on the shelf for about 2 years before you need to consume it, like cookies, snacks, sugary treats, drinks, pop, soda, Hungry Man, Salisbury steak meals, garbage like that. So, you know, a lot of the produce and stuff is less sought after. So, you know, maybe Walmart will actually just donate some of the food since they can't sell it, but we'll see how that goes. And they actually said that the majority of Walmart's food sales, well, a large portion of it, as far as percentage, is actually from EBT customers. And Walmart doesn't necessarily make a lot of money off of their food. It's what you call a loss leader. So they end up getting their food. They have their grocery store section just based. What's that in my thing? Yeah, they have their grocery section just to get people in the store, and then they're hoping that they buy some of the more profit margin heavy things like clothes, for instance. They make a lot of money off of clothes, the electronics, dog food, you know, random stuff, tables, cheap furniture, futons that you got to put together yourself that are going to break within like a year, if not sooner. So they're hoping that you buy a lot of that stuff, and they don't make a big profit off the food. But usually when you go in there to get food, you're going to grab some other stuff, and then they can get that sale. Because if you think about it, and this makes even more sense, if people are going into Walmart to shop with EBT, they're not using their own cash, which would free up more cash for them to buy random stuff. So they go in there and they're getting their food for free, technically. Not technically because taxpayers funded. But they go in there and they're not paying their actual cash for food. They're going to have, you know, a little more money to buy a T-shirt or maybe buy a TCL TV. You can get like a 70-inch for like $200. The picture be all washed out, no deep blacks. The speakers be terrible. Ghosting images. You try to play a fast pace, you try to play Call of Duty, you getting shot. Everybody's shooting you up. You wonder why your screen's lagging like about a second every time that you move. So you can't never get your shot off in time. And that's why you suck in Call of Duty. All right, anyways, so we see that Walmart is looking like it is completely empty without all of the money from SNAP and EBT. So there's that. Let's continue to go. Let's see what this woman has to say about, and I want to get to the video of the guy that is, and there's a lot of people that are trying to set up a whole purge of all the stores coming up soon. Actually, we'll go to that one after this. Let's check this one out though real quick. See what this woman got to say.
I just want to know why you chose, of all times, to stop SNAP benefits. in November. You realize Thanksgiving's coming up? Oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to starve the people. Okay. That's why we're going to steal every motherfucker off the shelves. I don't care. We stealing. We going to start stealing.
There was only like a second left. I want to ask a question, though. For anybody that knows anything about anatomy, that is the body, right? Is that anatomy? Any doctors or anything that are watching the show, or if you catch this on the replay and you know you're at this part, or you know anybody, can you just answer this question for me? I don't know. I'm going to look it up later. I don't know now. It's just a question that popped in my head. So oftentimes I do a lot of research on things when I think about it, and I'll put a mental note in. But she says that people are trying to be starved. She's obviously overweight. I would say she's obese just based off the BMI. That's not me. I'm just saying off the BMI, she looks like she's definitely obese, if not morbidly obese. Off the BMI, just that alone, right? So how long would it take for her to starve, assuming that she got like small doses of meals? Like she didn't get the abundance of food that she would get if she was getting a lot of her benefits and all that were cut off. But let's say she just got the bare minimum, right? Like she just got just a healthy serving size, right? Or maybe a little bit below that, right? I'll give her that. How long would it actually take her to become a normal weight, right? To become like a normal weight under the BMI, and then subsequently begin to starve? Because if you're obese or fat, can you actually starve from a standpoint of like with all the weight, or would your body eat that weight that you have that's excess, so it would take you longer to? All right, here's my question. I'll make the question simple. If her and I were in a situation, or not even her and I, if her and a normal person, I guess I could, you know, I'm normal as far as the BMI scale, but if her and I were underfed, we were still getting food, but we're just underfed, right? For a course of a month, would one of us, or if we were starved, I guess either way, would it take longer for me to starve to death, or her, because she has more weight on her already that is unnecessary, like more fat? I don't know. I'm trying to word the question right, but it's just something that I'd be wondering about. I'm going to look into it. I'll figure it out anyways, but if anybody gets that information, it'd be cool to know. Because we're just seeing a lot of the people that are talking about this are always overweight, and I just don't understand it. It's completely insane to me. All right, now, we are going to look at a lot of the urban communities, a lot of Black people specifically that are talking about all of these things that they're going to be stealing and they're going to be robbing stores, and I'm going to get my EBT. But I just want to say that the overwhelming majority, when you're not talking about it from a per capita standpoint, is white people that receive food benefits, all right? That's just what it is. And there's a lot of, especially when you go on places like X and stuff like that, you know, X has changed a lot, and I don't really think it's bad. I think people should be able to say what they want to say. I'm not a person that's ever like upset when they talk about the Blacks are, you know, they're crazy and they're criminals and they got no decorum and all that type of stuff. It doesn't bother me. I don't care when they call us niggers or anything like that. It doesn't bother me. You can insult me all you want. All that matters is the facts. You can stereotype me all you want. I don't care. Like, it doesn't even matter to me. But my thing is this, right? When we look at a video like this of two white people filling up a broke down vehicle, they're overweight, they're stealing a whole bunch of merchandise. This is no Snap November. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Active robbery in progress. DJ's Concord.
They got a leased car, not leased. They got a car that they're making payments on. They bought that from a dealership. That's crazy.
Gray Pontiac. Celeste Silver.
The idiots ain't even take the back tag off. That's how lazy they are. That's how lazy they are. At least take the tag off your vehicle. At least take the tag off and put a mask over your fat. You know what?
Hope y'all like jail.
Did they leave product?
So should we have everybody be stealing?
They left product too. All right, now, again, they fit the narrative. You know, some people talk about like it's about class. It's not about race. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that I think race comes into it, I don't know. It's kind of tough, right? If you got like a group of millionaires and some are black, some are white, I think at that point race comes into it, right? Because then the money no longer matters. So I think race does have a lot to do with it. But when we look at these people, we're just seeing that they're getting the worst. Like, what is this? Like, why are you stealing this? And, you know, a lot of the food that they got is like chips and cookies and snacks. And they do got some oranges right there. We'll give them a little credit for that. But they got like a whole bunch of Chef Boyardee. He got the whole plate on there. They got like, it looks like possible like cans of Canada Dry maybe or something like that. Down at the bottom, they got like, so got her hair dyed red for no reason. And then we're looking at this and we're saying like, all right, well, what is the real issue here? There's a profile to all these people. You can look at them and see like they're doing the worst things for themselves. And I think like when you depend on the government, I think it just begins to destroy you from within. It destroys you from within when you depend on the government. Now, again, everybody that we see that are complaining over this are technically overweight. And it's weird. But then again, if you look at America, they said like 80% or it's like some crazy high number of people that are overweight. I want to go to, where was that one I had though that I was looking for? I told you I was going to get to this one. Let me see if I can find it. Did I lose it? I might have lost it. Hold on. I might have lost it. It's not this one. No, not that one. All right, I'm going to find it for y'all. I'm going to find it.
Used 53 different EBT cards.
All right, whatever. So I'm going to go into this video, and then I'm going to try to find the one I was looking for. I think I do got it queued up somewhere, but let's check this person out real quick. Again, these are two separate races. All right, we're going to look at it right here. Two separate races. Because we have a lot of these race-mongering, fear-based situations. But if you took the skin color away, they all look the same, right? So let's go ahead and check this person out. She says actually go to the white stores. Because you said white people ain't paying attention to you. She might be right. Let's check it out.
Okay, so I'm like 10 minutes, 30 minutes maybe from my house. And I'm going to show y'all, if y'all don't get your EBT, what to do. Y'all think because for some reason that they watching y'all. They not watching y'all. They don't care. White people is not paying attention to y'all. I'm in the white neighborhood at their HEB, and I'm going to walk out with my groceries. Easy peasy. Nobody's looking at me. Nobody's paying attention to me. I got my basket full of stuff, and I'm going to just walk out. I'm going to show y'all, but give me a minute. I got to get some trash bags. Okay, y'all, this is everything I got. And this is the exit door. And as y'all can see, is not any of my people. And it's white people. They're not paying attention. Camera, yeah, but oh well. I got my stuff. So if they're taking y'all
She really stole that stuff too. That's the crazy part. Like y'all might think it's like, oh, she actually paid for it. No, she actually stole it, and you could tell by the way that it's in the cart. Like there's no bags, and normally people wouldn't, even if they were faking this, they would at least put it in bags afterwards. She just walked dead out. And in some of the nicer stores, this is absolutely possible for sure. Because a store like a Walmart, they're anticipating crime based off of the demographic that shops there. But other stores are not anticipating people to steal, so they put less into security and more into customer service to make sure that the patrons that are there are taken care of. Walmart, they're constantly fighting with the people that are there. They got to sit there and have 1,000 cameras and secret shoppers and police officers sitting outside of the actual store to thwart different types of people from committing crimes. But the nicer stores, they actually have people in there that have dress code, decorum. They have a high standard, and they just want to take care of the customers that are there. So she absolutely could do this at a store like this with no issues until they start to catch on, and then they'll get her later. But she could get away with it a fair amount of times.
EBT, just go to the white neighborhood and get a basket of groceries. Just like I did. Easy peasy. Oh, that's cute. And look. And look, nobody's chasing me. See, nobody's chasing me. I'm putting my stuff up like I paid for it.
Did she pull up to her car? I mean, I'm not going to do the investigative work to see what her vehicle is and all that. I could care less, but that's very interesting, actually. So she's saying just go to the white neighborhoods and steal. It'll be a lot easier that way. And, she might be right. But I think that, crime is crime. And even if you get away with it at Walmart, they'll find you. I would say that she has a better chance of getting hunted down and caught stealing from a store like this because they're going to have less of it happening. So what's going to happen is they're actually going to notice that she took it, and then they're going to find her, and then they'll track her down and go ahead and make sure that she gets caught. I want to find that video for y'all. I don't know where I put that video. All right, but anyways, we'll check this one out real quick while we're waiting. Look at a couple more of these people. This woman says, I got to pay my motherfucking bills, so I'm going to go ahead and steal. And here we go. Let's check her out. I'll make it full screen.
Yeah, them people really didn't give us our stamps. It's like day 2, you know what I'm saying? I get my shit on the first. You know what I mean? I'm first of the month around this bitch. But it's the second, and I just went to go peek, and I'm like, maybe they would have gave a little sprinkle.
Because
my bad. Them niggas ain't gave shit. I done took my ass to this motherfucking HEB that they just built over here in Rockwall or whatever by my house. First of all, that bitch is packed as hell. Beautiful store, real nice shit in there, deals out the ass. But I couldn't indulge because I ain't got no yamps. I just spent cash money on 5 items out the store. Mind you, it was only $20, but bitch, I still got bills to pay. I still got motherfucking bills to pay, bitch. I'm not trying to spend it on shit that I'm supposed to be getting food stamps for. Quit playing with me. Like, what the fuck? Where the pantry's at? For real. Yep.
Shout out to all the ladies. Shout out to all of the ladies. This fine woman right here. Look at this fine woman right here. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I know she's got thousands of people that want to be with her and be around her. plenty of suitors and guys that would love to have a wife, have a spouse, have a partner. You know, we call them partners now. That would just love to be with her. And I'm only sad that I don't get that opportunity. It's sad. It's sad I'll never get the opportunity to be with her for reasons that are out of my control. It's 100% sad. I almost want to cry about it, but I'm a whole masculine frame. But it's sad I'll never get a chance to be with her. It's sad. Let's see what this woman's talking about.
In Walmart looking busted as a motherfucker and realizing that it is November 2nd, 2 days into the month of no food stamps for almost everybody in America, including me, because it messed up my stamps. So this is what we got. Okay, here we go. So it's not a lot of stuff. You would think with this stuff right here that it wouldn't be too much. But y'all about to go with us to find out how much less than 20 items is when it comes to Walmart with no stamps, when you gotta like pay out of pocket. So let's see. So first off, we got about this much and it came up to $26.98. And we still have to get this. $5, $10, like $2. So this shit came up to $18. This shit was 4 items, it came up to $18. What is we doing? What is we doing, Walmart? What is we doing, Walmart? It was something. What is we doing?
Is she still using food stamps? Why didn't she get the other items all together? Because this is all stuff for her pet. Hey, how's it feel that y'all are taking care of someone else's pet? Have you ever thought about that? If someone's asking for help from you, but they're continuing to have luxuries that you can't even afford, as far as having them a nice little Maine Coon cat or a little Shih Tzu dog, or maybe they even got like a golden retriever or something like that. But usually they got a little annoying yap dog. They got one of those. Never shuts up. Can't control it. Dog just, you telling the dog, stop barking. Dog, sit down. Calm down. Stop jumping all over my company. Don't eat that person's shoes. I remember one time I was in like the dating phase. Man, this dog, I had some nice shoes. The dog ate my shoes. I said, man, I can't even date no woman with dogs no more. They can't control them. I mean, most people can't control their dogs. Like, their dog be untrained. Like, when you get a pet, you're supposed to train it. You're supposed to take it to school to learn like a kid, because dogs are technically just toddlers. And I would say, I'm going to be honest, I would say about 90% of the people that have dogs, specifically, because cats are different. Cats don't need to be trained in that way. They already got attitudes and they already pretty much clean themselves and they don't really do a lot. Cats, you know, at most they'll jump like up on the counter or something like that. But cats aren't going to be just like, well, they meow. They don't even bark. They're not even loud. So, you know, they might hiss at you or something or have an attitude, but you know, cats aren't really like that. They'll come up to you, they'll rub across your leg. More than likely, they're just going to stay the hell away from you. You won't even know the cat's there. Dogs, on the other hand, are like terrible toddlers. And when you don't take your dog to a boarding school to teach them things, they're absolutely disrespectful to company. And I've dealt with that before. It was another time where I had on like a white shirt, go in the crib, standing there, dog comes in from outside, hyper as hell, can't be controlled. Dog immediately jumps up, roof. Dog's all on my white shirt, just paws my whole joint. Shruff. I'm like, bruh. Destroyed my shirt. I don't want to do that. Am I still live? Hold on real quick. Let me make some. Am I good? Okay, I think I'm still good. So yeah. But the issue is that you're paying for this woman to pay for her dog food, basically. And you might say, well, no, you can't buy dog food with EBT. That's fine. But if she wasn't getting EBT, she wouldn't have a dog because she wouldn't be able to afford both. She can feed herself or she can feed the dog. And because of your taxpayers and you funding her EBT, she's able to do both. Something that you can't even do in good conscience because you can't afford it because all your money goes into taxes to pay for her animal. It's completely insane. And they flaunt this and they show it off and they just laugh in your face. Me personally, I'm not even upset at this woman. Like, if you can get it, get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, I got to pay a whole bunch of money to you in taxes and all that. But if you're able to maneuver and manipulate the system, all power to you. I don't have a problem. Like, a lot of people might think that I'm upset about a lot of this stuff or like I'm angry with these people. I more or less make observations. None of these people irritate me or frustrate me in any way whatsoever. At all. I think it's a little more just like, what are we doing? Plus, you got 2 nose rings in. How do you put jewelry on your body before you fix your teeth? The only way that you're going to see me with jewelry on is if my teeth are clean, flossed. I don't got no big ass cavity all in here. Every time I chew down, it feels like I'm biting on tinfoil because it hurts so much. You putting jewelry on your body before you fix your teeth. I'll tell you this, to anybody that ever has wondered, you want to make yourself look better, fix your teeth. It ain't going to be putting no chain on. It ain't going to be putting a new fitted hat on. None of that. It ain't going to be wearing no nice shirt that says Balenciaga across the front. Fix your teeth. You'll look 1,000% better. There's nothing else that's going to change it. Not your eyelashes, not your makeup, none of that. Your teeth are the most important thing on your face. Always. And she don't seem to care. See what else she got. Some ranch. Still got some vegetables in there. White eggs. Ground turkey. Yeah, a little fruit in there. Make sure she cleaned her card. She got the disinfectant wipe right there. Yeah. Put the nose ring up and fix your teeth, shorty. All right, let's go ahead and look at some more. I want to find that video for y'all, though. Let's check this one out real quick. This woman's stealing laundry detergent.
What is you doing?
Everything is free. Everything is free.
Everything is, you gonna pay for that?
I ain't paying for shit. I'm doing like everybody else doing.
You so ghetto for that?
Take this.
I'm not holding that. That's thieving.
I don't care.
You don't get us caught up.
I don't care.
What if it's, oh, Lord.
That damn camera.
You tripping,
Yeah, this stuff don't irritate me. I think it's funny. I think it's entertaining. I think it's terrible, but at the same time, it doesn't trigger me or anything like that. It's a little more just like, I think about it from the person of what the reward is for it. Like, the reward of doing something that's stupid is minuscule to what is going to happen to you when you're caught. Like, when you're caught doing this, it's going to be absolutely, like, your punishment is going to be insane. Like, you're going to end up paying 10 times more than what you're doing here. And then again, like, the amount of laundry detergent that you're getting is only going to cover what, like 6-7 loads? Then you got to go back to doing this again. So you need to find more of a long-term solution. Stealing laundry detergent in the same cup that you pour your lean in is just dumb. All right, let's see. Let's check out some more. Maybe I'll find that video. Oh, what is this? All right, let's see right here. Look like we got somebody running out with more carts of food.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available with 22 kilograms of baggage included. Book now with Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. International protected.
These are first world problems if I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
I gotta get a security guard at L2 though. Like, what did you even chase her down for if you weren't gonna do nothing? You might as well just stayed in the store and stayed warm. You out there chasing her. She's basically walking away from you, and you're just there like, hey, stop that card. And he don't get paid enough for this. He just has to go out and show that he, put some initiative in. But bro, just quit the job, bro. It's not worth the paycheck. It's absolutely not, man. But these are first world problems because in times of the past, you would have got vigilante justice. The store owner would have just took you out, bro. It would have been over, bro. Like, you can't even, the cops almost enable stuff like this because they're not even responding to the crime. As slow as she left with the merchandise, she should have been caught by now. There got to be a cop within a few minutes of this site. It's a whole grocery store right here. So, she was able to just scurry off extremely slow. And this guy is not much faster. And she runs out with a whole basket of groceries and issue that is only first world. All right, let's check out a few more. We got a few more to check out. It looks like, oh, what do we got here? I think this is some more theft from Walmart's getting hit the hardest, but they make the most profit off of EBT, so I guess it makes sense that they get hit the hardest. We shouldn't feel bad for Walmart. I know that.
I'm in the club with all my bitches. This shit overly loaded. All these rats on me, I can't even hold them. Sheesh.
She might not even be stealing.
Look at that motherfucker. Look at that motherfucker.
I don't think she stole this, actually. So, but regardless, we can look at it from a different standpoint. This makes some people super angry. Hold on, wait. Was that strawberry cinnamon toast crunch? I ain't gonna lie, that looks kind of fire. I like cinnamon toast crunch. I don't eat a lot of it, but it's one of my fave cereals. Yeah, strawberry cinnamon. She just put me on. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check out the strawberry cinnamon toast crunch. I think that's pretty cool. I bet that tastes pretty good. Shout to her. I wouldn't buy it. Got the Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Not too much on the meat, y'all. We couldn't get much meat because the refrigerator all the motherfucking packed. So what the fuck more can we do? But we're gonna have to go back and get some more shit because we still ain't loaded.
Yeah, loaded, she said. But my thing is this, like, it's really the items that they're buying, right? Just all garbage. And we didn't get a visual of this woman, but I can only imagine how she looks behind the camera. 100% she's overweight. We didn't see her. I'm gonna tell you 100% that she's overweight. And another thing is, like, if you're using your own money, you wouldn't even buy stuff like this. People that use their own money don't purchase a lot of stuff like this. They will, but it's a small quantity, right? You might grab, like, some Orange Crush, and it might last you for a long time. You might grab a couple of other, she got like corn dogs, and because even like buying like the individual chips and all that, it's just a waste of money. Like, you're better off just buying the big bags of it. I mean, you're better off shopping at Sam's Club or Costco overall for stuff like this. But, shopping at Walmart, you're already getting ripped off. Wow. But yeah, she's loaded. She's loaded off of your money. I don't care. Like, I ain't even arguing about it no more. Just take what I don't even care about taxes no more, bro. Like, at this point, bro, it's just like, y'all take so much money. It's just like, when I look at what I would get paid, I already include taxes in. If somebody says, we're going to give you $50 an hour, I don't even process it as $50 an hour. I process it at $35 an hour. So for me to get what I need to get, if an employer offers me or, any job that I'm working and they give me a number, I automatically think of that number 30% what it's not. I don't even look at it the full number. A lot of people say, that's when you look at like these big contracts and stuff, like the NBA guys and stuff they be getting. I don't even look at their numbers. Like they'll say, Steph Curry got $100 million for 4 years. I immediately look at that as $55 million for 4 years. I never see I never see the gross number. My mind automatically looks at the net number of everything. I never look at the gross number. I'm not even wired to think like that. Everything I make, I already look at it as 30% of what it actually is. And I look at my dollar as about having 70% of the value that. So if I have $1 in my hand, I'm looking at 70 cents, right? That's just how I already process things. I think it's a better psyche to have because, it can begin to really frustrate and irritate you. That's why I'm not irritated by any of this, because it doesn't even matter. Like, it's money I never had to begin with. Taxes don't even exist to me personally. I don't think about taxes or anything like that. Just is what it is. It's all just a part of it, right?
I am a food stamp recipient, and I hope everybody knows that after this government shutdown and when all the food stamps come back, I can't wait to make a haul to make all of the maggots angry, okay? Because I am going to be buying candy and junk and soda and all the things, $200 worth. I don't even care, because screw you. Screw you for thinking that we shouldn't get good things in life, that we shouldn't even have food stamps because of the people who abuse it, okay? Like, it's funny because of the fact that we don't have food stamps for November, and I'm completely fine. I have so much meat in my deep freeze. I have so much food in the food pantry. I have so much food that me and my kids are going to be fine. But it's literally just the principle that you don't even care about kids starving. So, yeah, have the day you deserve.
Judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
What do you mean?
Got a little attitude there. Is that it? Or are you just so old and ugly that you can't hear anymore?
Come on, man.
Oh my God, I fucking hate myself right now.
We got to get her, y'all. We got to get her. Let's run it back. Let's have a little fun with this one.
I am a food stamp recipient, and I hope everybody knows that after this government shutdown and when all the food stamps come back, I can't wait to make a haul to make all of the maggots angry, okay? Because I am going to be buying candy and junk and soda and all the things, $200 worth. I don't even care, because screw you. Screw you for thinking that we shouldn't get good things in life, that we shouldn't even have food stamps because of the people who abuse it, okay? Like, it's funny because of the fact that we don't have food stamps for November, and I'm completely fine. I have so much meat in my deep freeze. I have so much.
Yeah, she's got so much food in her deep freezer, and she's completely fine, but she's still getting food stamps. All right, fair enough. She's been able to stock up on food. But my thing is this. Why us as people have to taunt people, and then when things reverberate and we have to deal with the consequences? Because the one thing that you don't want to be is unnecessarily annoying. Some people will be annoyed by you just from whatever. But this woman is actually bringing this onto herself. She's bringing on bad karma. Anybody that's a Buddhist understands what karma is. It's what you do to others will come back onto you. You attract what you are. So for her to sit here and taunt people and say, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of garbage with my food stamps, which you already doing that in the first place. We just got done watching about 6-7 videos where everybody that was buying stuff with food stamps was getting all garbage. Kool-Aid jammers, cookies, Takis, cereal, milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, so we see it, and then But she goes on and she's tattooed up, so it's going to be impossible to mistake her for anybody else because she decided to scar her body with a whole bunch of tattoos that makes her very distinguishable and very unique in her appearance. So eventually, people are going to catch on to what she's doing, and then they're going to say, oh, you know what? I remember you. And they're going to try to make her life a living hell the same way that she's trying to make other people's lives live in hell that are frustrated that all their money's being stolen over and over to give her things that she doesn't even need. So now, within a year, if not sooner, everything's going to flip for her, and it's going to be disaster, and it's going to be a lot of pain and suffering. And she's going to come back on here and she's going to be crying, I'm getting threats and people are doxing me and they called my job and now I'm not getting stamps anymore. And what about my kids and my heart and my family? And it's just going to be all of that. And it's like, bruh, like, why would you even put yourself? You should be the most quiet person of them all. You should be the most quiet person of them all because I would assume, I mean, she ain't got a ring on her finger, but I would assume that she is probably a single mom, well, based off what she would say. And even if that isn't the case, she doesn't have anybody responsible around her enough if she's getting EBT, so she needs help from the government and not the partner or man that's in her life. So at this point, you know, you're putting yourself in a position where the same people that you're dependent on, you're beginning to diss and talk bad about, and all that's going to bring about is a whole bunch of people frustrated and irritated with you, and they're going to try to destroy you and make you suffer the same way that you're trying to make them suffer, which is completely dumb. So, you know, we'll give her the credit that she wants to get, but, you know, in the end, she's going to be the only one that suffers. Like, you win now, but you lose later. It's just stupid. I don't understand this from people. You get nothing from it, and she didn't get paid for any of this. Let's see. Let's check out a few more. I don't want to look at this one. Oh, I guess we could. They're teaching the kids to run out.
Lock the door.
Open the door!
So you got to.
When you got the whole team helping, no EBT.
Lock the door.
Open the door!
So you got to.
I know bro pants went around his ankles. Look at this dude, bro. Man, I'm telling you, man. Man, y'all got to do better, bro. Y'all got to do better with the pants sagging thing. Even if you said that it looked cool, you're at a tactical disadvantage if your pants are below your ankles. You can't even move. You can't even run. You can't fight. You can't do nothing. What's the first thing somebody, when they're sagging their pants, does when they're getting ready to fight? What's the first thing that they do? They stand up and they hike their pants up. They hike them up like this. They hike them up because they already know when it's around your thighs, you're immobilized. All right, let's check out one more. I wish I could have found that video for y'all. I'll find it later on and I'll play it for you tomorrow. If it's still relevant. It's more relevant now, but here's what it is. Let's check out this last one. Let's check out this last one. We're dealing with EBT fatigue now.
Okay, now. Trump said I can walk out of here without paying. I can walk out here without paying. You sure? Now Trump said I can walk out here without paying.
Bro got a whole arm brace. He probably got a whole dislocated, separated elbow. He ain't got time to fight with you. You about the same size as him, and he's a grown big man. You think he gonna fight with you over some Trump said it's cool? Go ahead. You can leave. I'll let the authorities deal with you, and that's how you should do. Never get into a fight with these people that's trying to steal.
He got.
Oh, you good?
He already got one arm messed up. He the only guy with some sense.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Shout out to you, Yoda. All right, I think we're gonna leave it at that. We talked about a lot. We've seen a lot of videos. We've seen a lot of crazy things going on. And because of that, we're gonna end it there. But let's go ahead and look at another kid that, I mean, surprisingly is overweight. But since this is the feel-good portion of our show where we always end on a positive note and we look at something positive, we're going to go ahead and disregard that for this video specifically because we're more looking at the situation that is presenting itself as far as this kid being bullied, but he's looking for friends and he found one. Let's check out the video and see what we got.
Expected visitor, a boy in need of help.
I just wanted to see if you knew any kids around like 11 or 12 maybe, because I need some friends, like from really bad.
The homeowner says he knows of some kids in the neighborhood, but the youngster, who's wearing a Jaws t-shirt, reveals he has a problem.
Okay. Well, they're not my friends anymore because they're bullies to me.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, man. The man isn't home, but he's touched by the earnest 12-year-old's story and continues to speak to him over ring cams.
I'm just wondering though, do you have any kids?
Yeah, she's 2 years old though, man.
Oh, okay, that's great. Because I love 2-year-olds, to be honest.
Specifically 2-year-olds?
If I see you around, I'll tell you hi.
Okay.
All right, man.
You have a good day.
Homeowner Brennan Ray and his wife Angel posted the
He
video.
got the same Jaws shirt on?
It is now going viral with 10 million views.
I think everybody could feel it. He's begging for someone. He's calling out for some help.
How brave goes one comment. I'd be his friend goes another.
We were both getting emotional over it, and we're like, we need to do something about this.
They also made it a mission to meet young Shaden of Amarillo, Texas in person. The connection was
after it went
immediate.
viral.
The boy even hit it off with their 2-year-old, just like he said he would.
I love 2-year-olds, to be honest.
Brennan's now wearing a Jaws t-shirt in solidarity with his new buddy. So what do Shaden and his mom Krishna think about all this attention?
I was just scared that Shaden would be a victim of more bullying. But when I saw all the love and affection, it was awe-inspiring and beautiful. And the two people who created this video have the biggest heart of gold.
As for the boy who was once in desperate need of friends,
I need some friends, like from really bad.
we're happy to report things have changed. Have you made new friends now because of this video?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How's that make you feel?
My confidence has gone through the roof.
Inside Edition brought the group together. You guys all consider yourselves friends now?
Oh, yeah. I think family is a better word.
And it's getting better. A GoFundMe account for Shaden raised $37,000 in just 24 hours. But Shaden is not keeping all of the money. He's donating a portion to war relief in Ukraine, as well as to tornado victims here in this country.
So the kid donated to war relief in Ukraine. This is a strange story, but again, there's some different things I would decipher with it if this was normal video. But because this is our positive video, I just want to look at it from the standpoint of he got an opportunity to go out there and show his personality and put it on display. And because of that, he was able to get a beneficial outcome. So I think a lot of this is like, you know, we don't want to be isolated as people. And I know it's difficult sometimes to jump out of your comfort zone, but if you have that opportunity, it's absolutely something that you should look into. And when we have people that are accepting and inviting like these two, we can begin to have great relationships that can last and keep people from doing things that can harm themselves or cause catastrophe. So I think this is a great story. Shout out to this young man, his girlfriend, and also the mother and son. I thought it was a good story to end on, and we'll leave it at that. So, what y'all think about the show? I thought it was pretty good. We'll see what's going on with the government situation. Probably won't talk about it tomorrow because we got some other stuff we got to get to, but definitely wanted to address it because it is a hot topic right now, and there's that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are incredible. Y'all are incredible. And I'm starting to feel like one of the most underrated content creators on the platform at this point. As I continue to go through all of these weeks and the consistency that I've proven and the level of content that I can create and the improvement that has been significant over the amount of time, I'm beginning to get into, definitely underrated territory. So we're going to continue to get better, but eventually, we're going to continue to get bigger, right? Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I got to go. It's late night. Got some things I got to do. Y'all have a really good night tonight, though. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully for an afternoon show this time. More than likely, that'll be the case. But regardless, at some point in the day, I'm definitely going to go live, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You always going to be with DotSale. I'm going to take care of y'all. Yeah, another one in the books. I appreciate y'all. I had a lot of fun today. You're catching this on the VOD, on the playback. You got to this point, I appreciate you. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This needs to be seen by more people. We got to get there. We'll do it as a family. Peace, y'all.